6 West African time. This is Daybreak. Thank you for staying with us. Now, President Bola Tinubu has declared an end to the state of emergency in Rivers State and has asked the state governor Sim Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odu, and the House of Assembly to resume their duties. Now, Tinubu had controversially suspended the elected officials 6 months ago after declaring a state of emergency in the state. In his statement bringing an end to the state of emergency, the Nigerian leader stated that he does not see why the state of emergency should exist a day longer than the 6 months. He cites the new spirit of understanding, a robust readiness, and potent enthusiasm on the part of all the stakeholders in Rivers State for an immediate return to democratic governance. Tinubu further advised that a harmonious existence and relationship between the executive and the legislature is key to a successful government, whether at the state or national level. Now, joining us live from Port Harcourt is Briggs, who is a Niger Delta activist and stakeholder in Rivers State. Good morning. Let me jump right into the first question for you. What is your evaluation of the role of the Vice Admiral Ebok Ete Ibas as the sole administrator during this emergency period? What is your feedback on this?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Since Ibas came to Rivers State, from the moment he set his foot in as being sent by the president, Rivers State has stood still. That is my appraisal and my understanding of what has happened in Rivers State in the past 6 months. All the jobs, all the developmental processes that Fubara had put in place before he came, everything was at a standstill. He never interacted with the people of Rivers State, the owners of Rivers State. He interacted with the people that sent him. There is so much that the people of Rivers State have been through in this past 6 months. And in my opinion, the reception that the governor is coming back is something that should have happened 6 months ago, meaning that there should not have been that declaration, and we should not have found ourselves in this position, because the problem was never between the people, the totality of the state with the governor, or it was between the governor who is in the same political party with the FCT minister that had a disagreement over the style of governance, period, and what surrounds the issues of government, and that the people of Rivers State have had to suffer for 6 months, and that the people of Rivers State now should pretend as if nothing happened in the past 6 months. It's like wiping away the past 6 months in the lives of the people of Rivers State and pretending that the process of now calling back Simela Fubara to come and sit on the seat that he removed him from is somehow, or has somehow, resolved the issues of Rivers State. As much as we want to return to normality, what has happened with Ibas and the consequences, we cannot even begin to tell what the consequences of the suspension and of the governor of Rivers State will be until the governor of Rivers State is back in the seat, and it will take maybe 2 to 4 weeks before we can actually begin to see what went wrong and what went right.
So coming here, against the backdrop that what prompted the state of emergency, according to President, was a constitutional necessity, citing Section 305 of the Constitution. And we had reports of attacks on oil installations. Now, you said the economy is at a standstill, but there are some who would argue that nothing could be built in a state of disorder. So in terms of restoring peace to Rivers State, would you say there is relative peace compared to what it was before the pronouncement of state of emergency?
There was nothing before the pronouncement, before the state of emergency. What there was that the governor of Rivers State on the 20-something of October in 2023, less than 6 months into his governance, began to display, we began to see that there was problem. And the problem was political. The problem was between himself, his style of governance, as to how the FCT minister saw it or wanted it. That was the problem. So to continue to give the impression that somehow there was blowing up of pipelines, there was insecurity in Rivers State. There was no such insecurity. If you're
the
talking
assembly
about places like
by unidentified
Zamfara, places
individuals
like,
on October. How would you explain the attack of the state's assembly by unidentified individual on October 29, 2023?
Well, that is the work of the police and the DSS to find out who are the people that that did that to the to the state assembly. Nobody can say that it is Fubra that did it, because if they can, they will take him to court. And so to bring that into it, when the police itself has not picked up the people, have investigated or taken them to court, it is not, in my opinion, it is unacceptable to use unconfirmed information to remove the governor of Rivers State. Pipelines in Rivers State have been blown up way before even Wike and Amechi even became the governors of Rivers State. It started from perhaps Odili's time. So when you look at all of those things, there was nothing concrete on ground to justify the removal of the governor of Rivers State, to say that because they were having political differences, so therefore he should be impeached or that he should be removed. But moving forward, that already has been done. But because that has been done, his suspension has been done, does not mean that the people of Rivers State should not ask questions. We have rights to ask questions, and those are the questions we're asking. I think it is wrong for people to say, to people like me, who are saying, yes, it is good that the governor is back. He should have been back 6 months ago. But within that space of 6 months, Ibas has to account to the people of Rivers State. He has received a lot of money from what has accrued to us.
Jump in at this stage.
Therefore, he should answer the questions that we're asking.
I like that you said, you made mention to moving forward. Okay, I think at this point you can hear me. You made mention to moving forward, and I think that's an important conversation that we're yet to really get into in detail, which is that what is the agenda that you would set for the returning governor? All this has transpired in the past 6 months. We know what led up to those 6 months. But as a stakeholder in the state and somewhat of an elder in the state as well, if you were to give him advice right now as to what agenda items he needs to prioritize as he settles in, what would you say?
He had those priorities right by the time he began to have his problem. We shouldn't make it to seem as if the governor did not know what he was doing or that he didn't have agenda. He had agendas and he was carrying them out. Well, when Ibas came, those agendas were stopped. So he should carry on with what he should carry on with. And he alone will know what he has to prioritize, because he knows where he was stopped. And so if he's going to do that, it has to continue to be in the interest of Rivers people. In the interest of Rivers people does not mean that he should does not mean that he should do what he's being told to do. he is working with people that he didn't put in place for himself. He has new commissioners. He has new local government chairmen. He has assembly members that have agreed to make peace with him, but time only is going to tell whether actually FOBRA is going to be able to move forward in the interest of Rivers people. And it's cut off.
Okay, I think we sincerely apologize for that break. I'm sure that our engineers are working tirelessly to restore the connection, but perhaps we could share a timeline of developments in Rivers State that led to the proclamation of state of emergency in March 18th, and now eventual return to democratic governance. Recall that before in early 2023, there was a tussle for the political structure in Rivers State between the former governor of Rivers State and the incumbent governor, Similai Fubara. And after a while, forces loyal to Governor Wike claimed that the governor was not agreeing to the terms of the political structure, and we saw people calling for his impeachment and moving against him. And on October 29th, we saw an attack on the State Assembly by unknown gunmen, and afterwards we saw the defection in which 27 people were against the sitting governor, and 4 people were loyal to the sitting governor. I think Briggs is back. We have our connection back, and so we'll be connecting to him. I think Adesua was having a conversation with Briggs.
Yes, thank you very much. She was answering Vimbai's question, but it's really in line with what I want to ask here. Is how successful do you think Similai Fubara will be in his return, particularly because of the things you listed, the House of Assembly members that he had issues with, the commissioners that he did not necessarily appoint himself, reportedly, and also the new local government chairman, with a significant number of them being APC members?
Absolutely. That is just the question, and that is why I am taking the position that I am taking. Definitely, the governor should have been returned. Where is good that the president has returned him. The reasons the president highlighted before and after still don't hold sway with a lot of us. But moving forward, as I said, we really cannot be sure of how the governor is going to be able to function under these type of circumstances. I mean, it's like you're living with 3 of your children and their families in a big house, and all your 3 children are having issues with you, and they are together with themselves. How do you think, as head of the family, you will be able to function? You will not be able to function. And so that's the problem that the governor of Rivers State is confronted with. Now, how he maneuvers these landmines, these traps that he is in my opinion, is what we have to wait and see. It doesn't matter what agenda we expect from him or we even set for him. Is he able to do them? That is the question. For instance, is he able to remove the commissioners and appoint other set of commissioners? No, we're not sure. Is he able to tell the local government chairmen, work with them? Because just because there is a new law that says local governments should be autonomous in the sense that they get paid directly, they will still have to work with the governor of the state to develop the local government. The lawmakers who now say they never defected still have to work with the governor. for the interest of the people of Rivers State. They cannot work against the people, their constituents that elected them, against these people because they don't like the governor of Rivers State. If they don't like the governor of Rivers State, there are ways to go about it, not the ways that we have had to endure. We have had to endure in the past 6 months in Rivers State. So it is a very tiresome situation that we find ourselves in today. So the removal, the calling back of the governor does not necessarily indicate that the governor is going to be able to function.
Okay. Madam, if we're saying that this resumption
the way that we're
is,
expecting,
in essence, ceremonial, symbolic at best, then what's the remedy to that? Because, you know, everything points to that. Different groups are calling it different things. The Coalition for Opposition Parties is calling him a conquered man. The front page of the Daily Trust today is saying he is hobbled. Many are using the word subdued. What is the remedy to that? Is it that he just has to play lame duck until the end of his term? Is it that maybe he has to cross over to the APC so that he can restore part of his mandate? Well, how do we remedy this situation we find ourselves in, where in essence he has been, you know, made into a symbolic figure?
I'm not a politician, but I speak as a stakeholder who is interested to know exactly what politicians are doing in my name. Having said that, it is the governor, as he takes over this morning, who is going to be able to know what he is confronting. Now, whether he goes ahead to do as he is expected, whether it is in the interest of Rivers people or not, is one issue that we will continue to look at. And the other issue is that it befalls the people, the collective people, the totality of Rivers people, who are more than the people that are fermenting this political crisis in Rivers State. You cannot determine for a people of a state whom they should support at the federal level, whom they should support as the president of Nigeria. That is the responsibility of whoever wants to become the president of Nigeria, to interact with the people of Rivers State.
It's expedient we look
not
at the...
to force.
Hello, madam. It's expedient we look at the Supreme Court judgment of February 28, where there was a ruling for the reconduction of the local government elections, and also the representation of the budget. So there's so much economic uncertainty on the state budget now. What do you think would happen to the budget now? What kind of budget would the state, Rivers State, be running on?
All right. The two things. The issue that we find ourselves in this position, the legal system have played a major role in the way that they have presented themselves to be used against constitutional issues, against the rights of Rivers people, and against the rights of the governor of Rivers State, Sasemila Efobra. That's one. Two, the 27 lawmakers made it difficult, even after the ruling that went in their favor. They still made it difficult for the governor, who had agreed after the judgment of the local on the local government elections that he conducted, that they didn't defect, and therefore they remain the lawmakers of Rivers State. So at the end of the day, this brings us, in my humble opinion, to the question that I'm asking, which is this: that Ibas needs to account to the people of Rivers State, and in effect to the government of Rivers State, what he has done with the 6 months allocation, with the money he found, and with the funds that also should have come to the local government, but just because there was no chairman does not mean that we shouldn't receive our allocation. So when you are looking at the key thing, which is peace and development of the people of Rivers State and the state itself, and the rights of the people and the right of the state to be a state that has all the rights that the president has democratically to govern their state, then you begin to see, I hope, that there is a lot more that to see than we are seeing right now.
Absolutely. I think we can all agree on that. And I think at this juncture, I think it's also fair for us to say that it seems the only person who can really answer the questions we need answered is the governor himself, Governor Siminalayi Fubara. But until we hear from him, Madam Ankio Briggs, thank you so much for your time and your contribution. Always a pleasure. We will keep tabs on developments in Rivers State as we anticipate the return of the governor and all the state machinery back into office today. But that's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Vimbai Mutiniri Ekweyong.
And I'm Adesu Agiwa Osage. It's goodbye from me.
And I'm Benga Ashiro. It's goodbye from me also. Have a lovely day.
And I'm Yolanda Robert. Please do keep it here on Arise News. The morning show is next. Goodbye.